Welcome into the madness, the chaos that is this sextuplet of Diamond Report contributors, joined by Noah Darling of College Baseball Central, Monty Taylor of Just Baseball, Quentin Mills, College Baseball Insiders, Andrew Rydell's Cheek with College Baseball Central, and last but not least, Noah Beanick of 11.7 and the College Experience. Welcome in, boys. Glad to be here. Don't everybody talk at once. Noah?
Yeah, I mean, just you gotta construct or conduct how this is going on.
Yeah,
You gotta call it.
Well, this is the welcoming. We've made everybody wait now for about 20 more minutes than what they should have. We appreciate your patience. Not all six of us can be as efficient as some others when it comes to figuring out how microphones and video cameras work.
Yeah, it's safe to say I know a guy who struggles in that department. What a treat it is to see your face, Chris. When I go so long without seeing you, obviously we text and we have our phone calls, but over this stream, you just sound so southern. Your honeysuckle voice really lifts me up.
Yeah, it looks really southern outside right now, sitting in about 8 inches of snow. It's good to finally come to the people with this finished product. Well, this is going to be a very laid-back discussion-based podcast video, but we plan on coming to you guys at least once a week from the Diamond Report to give you our updated top 25 rankings as the season progresses and all that good jazz. But this is more just, let's talk about the inception of this, how it all came about. For those that have followed my story, you know that I've been putting out guides, but not near to at length that this one was. Darling, you want to take us back to Omaha in 2025 when we first sat there at the Hilton and had this discussion?
Sure, Matthew. We have a lot of discussions just amongst ourselves. As it really, if you really want to trace it back, I would give a lot of credit to the other Noah, Mr. Beanie, for the start of the Fantasy Baseball League that we're all in, except for Andrew. Hi, Andrew, square. But the rest of us have so many great conversations throughout the year. And then we all come together in Omaha and get to spend 10 days of baseball together, and conversations start. And we say, what would it look like if we found a way to work together in some capacity? It feels like so many of us all do not necessarily the same thing, but we're all talking about college baseball in our own special way. It'd be cool to put it all together in one product, especially in the off season when you might think that college baseball coverage isn't as easy because there's no games on. So it was great to come together, not just for a podcast or something, not just to maybe write something together, but to put 210 pages of what I would call excellence together.
Yeah, I think that's very well put, Noah. And yeah, we were talking about it when we were in Omaha at the College World Series, whether it be the press box or hanging out at the Hilton Hotel bar after every night, or wherever else we were kind of mingling. We were always kind of in a group, and we discussed, like, we're kind of getting these looks. Like, this is not normal to everybody else that's there. That, a lot of people, I guess in traditional media, view it as a little bit of competition rather than, I view it as we're kind of one rising tide lifting, everything. So as college baseball begins to get more and more eyes, the coverage of the game is only going to get better, and there's only going to be more that do it. And that's not an issue. That's a good thing, actually. And I mean, forget 2026 for a second. 2027's issue of the Diamond Report, I think, might be even bigger and better because you got the MLB looming lockout. So that is going to be a huge, huge year for college baseball, in my opinion.
Q?
Yeah. Beanie kind of hit it all. Whether we're eating in the press box at the back table or we're watching the game and talking, or the Hilton, we definitely were getting looks. I don't know if that's because the 11.7 guys were lining up like DNs, going, in a quarterback setup. But here nor there was a conversation and or actions being taken there. And, those good looks, though, they're going to be weird from last year. But then, this guy comes out, who knows, maybe they changed, and those looks are like, oh, there's, Monty and there's Noah. And, hey, we love seeing what you've done for the sport. And that's all what we want to do, right? We're all coming together. And I think Noah Beanick said in our chat before, it's not about, doing everything individually. It's coming together and growing the sport together and being one. So I think this is awesome to be a part of. And this is year one of, anything you can imagine is probably going to go sky high from this point.
And also, Andrew, I know Darling poked fun at you. No offense in not being in that league. It's just we've got one person from almost every entity. I'm from the TCE group, and then Ben Upton's from the 11.7 group in that chat. So it's not like we're dueling or doubling up in every way.
No, you're good. You're good. I'd like to be a part of it, but
yeah, the pass protection Upton was not good. I got lit up. It was very reminiscent.
Grissom's in one of those videos as I think a referee.
Yeah, I look like Shadur Sanders with Cleveland Browns back there.
When Jack hit the roll, Ben was done. It just locked him up.
Yeah, that video is gold.
So going through the guide, if you haven't bought it yet, check out download.thediamondreport.com. Takes you straight to it. We would appreciate you checking that out, making that purchase. It did really take over 500 hours of work on this. It was not something that we could just easily throw together. And it's beautiful. I mean, if you're a fan of college baseball, I think there's been one error in it that we found so far, which is pretty good considering that we were all running off little to no sleep. And
there's bound to be a couple more, but
there is. And Hunter Elliott being the X factor for Vanderbilt. Sorry, guys. Until y'all play each other, Hunter Elliott will not be an X factor for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
And for those curious, the X factor was supposed to be Brody Johnson. That was my fuck up, and I was proofreading it. Somehow it slipped through the cracks of the 40,000 pages or words that I read earlier too. So
so forgive us. I'm gonna get that fixed, re-uploaded, and send it out. What are the odds we see you at the Animal House? I'm disappointed we didn't go last year.
I think we got to do like the night before. We just got to set the tone early.
The Animal House is always welcome to newbies. We do have a cub in the Animal House who
2 dogs.
Is a little bit of a terrorist, as you guys learned a little bit. But yeah, everybody is always welcome at the Animal House.
Noah is going to post his address online. So himself and everybody show up at his house. Just bring gifts. So our gifts are highly recommended.
So I'm super excited just for this episode, just to break bread and just talk about how the process and operations went of this whole thing. We really should. I mean, the audience is going to see 210 pages and they're going to be like, yo, they worked on this thing all freaking fall. They were talking about it in Omaha. We kind of just started it December 17th. And we were like, are we going to finish this thing? So what I guess I'll start with this. The original roles, Grissom obviously did a fantastic freaking job with the design of the magazine, like unreal. We knew he was in that role. We knew we had excellent writers. Like Monty was the MVP of the writing team. He had 3,000 words on ACC teams by December 1st. And he's like, I just got to cut it down to 500 words, guys. No problem. But yeah, he was done with his ACC assignment. And then I think he wrote up like 9 or 10 mid-majors. He did an excellent job. I had originally signed up to be kind of editor because growing up, I was a high school newspaper editor, also wrote in the college university newspaper. I was like, I can do this, but I'm also working nights with the College Experience, the basketball show. And I have crazy hours. I'm not sure how much I can write. Well, that thing got thrown for a loop, and Andrew knew it was going to come up at some point in the show. Yeah. So in the middle of December, Andrew's a coach on the side. So he's doing all of this and coaching. He's stepped away from media for about 2 weeks, and we're like, holy shit, we are screwed. Because I was originally doing team by team spread for the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt teams are going to have each of their own page. Unfortunately, all the coaches.
So it's Andrew's fault. You're saying it's Andrew's fault that Coastal doesn't get the 2-page spread.
So unfortunately, we weren't able to get that thing done. We were pinched, but then we got Andrew back, and when we got Andrew back, we cruised during January, and we were free sailing after that. But yeah, like Grissom did a tremendous job. I have the original page designs in front of me of like what I sent to Grissom. Here's what I'm looking at. I've designed pages before, but I'm terrible at it. I'll write them down, draw them out. And Grissom did a pretty bang up job at getting that visual into the magazine. So hell of a job, Gris.
Thank you very much. If you want to laugh, go look at, I think the CBSBinsiders.com account has all of the guides that I've put out going back to 2022. Look at 2022 compared to 2026 and look at the advancement I've made in graphic design. It's pretty hilariously bad how bad it was.
Here's a good question.
Yeah, this is. Any merch coming this spring? Maybe the Diamond Report on a branded Bills cap.
I mean, I definitely saw a patch come out. It was on Paul Skeens' jersey.
Yep.
So
yeah, the Hawaii jersey, the new Hawaii jersey.
Yeah.
Chris, I would say we've already cleared the biggest hurdle of this because, about 72 hours ago, we did not know how to make an e-commerce site.
Yeah,
and you've mastered that with the help of about 18 hours of phone calls and trial and error. Again, glad I had nothing to do with that. But yeah, clearly you can just go ahead and do that for us now. Thanks.
Yeah, and the customer service is working spectacularly.
Serengeti and whoever else I talked to with
Rob, that's got a lot of air miles racked up for these phone calls.
That was a battle in and of itself, but it's done. It's out there. Haven't had too many issues outside of having to reset the links. Apparently, you can only download it 3 times. So if you eclipse that and you need more downloads, by all means, hit us up, Grissom at NCAAinsiders.com, or on one of our DMs. I'll get it reset. It's super easy for me to manually go in and do it. Unfortunately, GoDaddy has set that and will not let me change it. I have attempted numerous times, but
that's the thing that we kept
going off pretty flawlessly.
We kept telling ourselves, like, first year, we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. Like, we changed so many ideas and added so many ideas in the final week of this thing.
Yeah.
It actually got a little crazy, little drunk. Like, we were like, dude, what are we doing? We have all of this that we're not going to use. We're adding stuff right now. Like, are we going to be able to edit this? But yeah, it
didn't bother me at all.
Monty was done by January 1st.
Yeah, Monty didn't explain it.
I was done by January 1st, and then I had to keep coming back because we were changing and adding stuff.
It was getting a little chippy. Monty's like throwing comments here and there, and
that's the thing with Monty is you never know when he's being sarcastic or when he's dead serious and 100%. Very frightening.
It's by design because if I overreact, I can backtrack. Be like, I was just kidding.
The one thing I do want to say real quick in talking about the merch, I think it's really cool, and you see all of our brands in the corner. It's really cool that the Diamond Report isn't just it is its own brand. It's not one person's brand, it's not one entity's brand. It is truly the logo of all of us coming together. That is exactly what we envisioned for this, and we get to put all of our personal accolades aside and just do something that is truly good for the sport. And that's where all of this came from, was that the sport is still bigger than all of us. We're not the company trying to say that we're the only ones that the only resource that you need for college baseball content and coverage. This is for the users, this is for the fan, this is for the parents of the players that want to see their baby boy printed, the low quality university picture that we were able to get online. It's got your kids in it. This is for that, and
that's been very cool. Grissom's been sent in all of the purchases.
Everybody can put egos aside and work towards one goal to make this thing work.
Grissom's been sending all the purchases of the players' parents. Like, that's been some of my favorite things to see.
And players.
It shows they care.
And I'll say this right here with the offhand chance that somebody is watching, but if you are a Division I player and you want to download this, hit us up in our DM.
Yeah,
We'll
hit us up. We've got a code
you
for
give
you.
us a
Dude.
shout out. We'll give you a coupon code.
Yeah.
No reason why you guys should be paying full price. I think half the Notre Dame pitching staff has purchased this thing, and we appreciate it.
I did personally reach out to O'Sheen Lee and Jack Radell to personally thank them. And they Jack responded, was just happy that for the love of college baseball. So
Jack responded, I need you to tick down my ERA half a point.
South Dakota kid, so he's got grit.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So let's talk expectations for the guide, because they were wildly across the board. My goal was 500. If we could get 500 sales, I thought that would be pretty freaking awesome for the first year of doing it. Noah, he shot low. He said 0 so that he couldn't be disappointed. Thankfully, we eclipsed that in about the first 30 seconds that it was live.
Both Noahs are kind of wired like that. I think I shot low too. You'll get there, but yeah.
You did.
No, you're kind of more on track, I think, than maybe we were.
I think we're up to about 300.
I don't know which one you're
sales
talking
right
to,
now.
Q, but you're right.
That's fair. Both of them. Both. Jeez. Matt, I think with the expectations, let's kind of wrap it in like each person, right? So obviously the writers were Andrew, Beanie, Monty, Noah. Kind of assisted you with going back and forth in the group chat about ideas and then editing as much as I could. Why don't we start with whoever the first is on your screen, Matt? Like, along with your expectations, kind of what in your coverage was an easy thing to cover, or maybe something like it was intriguing that you kind of learned about the process, whether it's the guide or about, the conference itself, or, to some extent, like what did you learn going through this process?
Add your favorite thing too, like your favorite team that you were able to write up.
Why don't we go Noah Darling?
Okay. All right. So the thing that I learned along the way was, number one, I'm of course battling having a newborn around me. So the time management was all wrong, because literally I don't know what day it is or really what time it is, but I know that I have to write about Rutgers baseball. So that was kind of my priority at the same time of having literally the biggest priority ever. So the thing that I eventually learned when it came to the process of all this was gathering stats absolutely sucks. But if you gather stats and put a lineup together before you write about a team, it is so much easier. Yeah. So next year, not to give out industry secrets to anybody who might be a copycat out there, I will definitely be creating lineups, gathering stats before I write a word about a team, because that saves so much time, because that's what I did for the Big Ten. And I cruised through my half of the Big Ten, credit Beanie for stepping up with the other half, compared to the Big 12, where I wrote everything and then put lineups together. And then I realized, I'm actually missing this super important player. So really the significance of lineups, but also the timing of doing them. And then I'm not going to be able to pinpoint a favorite team overall, but I really like the Ohio Valley when I was putting it together. I didn't know much about the OVC. And then I find reason that I'm thinking, okay, some of these teams could be fun to watch if they make their way into the tournament. One of them will automatically. SIUE could be fun to watch. And I did not know anything about them until I looked at them.
And their basketball coach.
Don't write reports about programs that maybe are not highly covered at 11 o'clock.
No, we're telling all.
When you're dead. First day back to work after a month. I got no sleep the night before because the kid was crying all night. And I'm like, I got to finish my stuff here because I'm driving myself insane. I couldn't get as much work done on this as I thought I could during the workday. I come home, bang out what I can, and end the night by including SIUE's basketball coach as the OVC Coach of the Year in baseball, which is the ultimate Bo Jackson move. So if he pulls it off,
like that, he might be dual role though. He might have to step in.
Might very well be.
Shout out, Coach
It wouldn't have
Baroni.
surprised me if it was. I had to double check the team account, the team staff page, just to make sure that he didn't coach both basketball and baseball.
And this is at 3 a.m. Central, 4 a.m. Eastern time. So Gris is the only one awake, and so Beanie was doing.
I think Beanie was still in the chat with me at 4 a.m.
I gave Matt company every night.
I think I woke up and saw it and was laughing, and then went back to sleep.
Yeah, that's another thing with all this is when I'm dealing with the newborn crying, I'll wake up at all hours of the night to see Beanie live talking about college baseball or college basketball, and then I'll think like, how on earth is this guy doing this? I don't know how you're awake right now. It's 8 o'clock. It feels like breakfast for you, Beanie.
Hey, except when there was the first marketing tweet we wanted to do.
Of course,
That was all the sleep he needed for the month, apparently.
Monty, why don't we translate into you?
I mean, this is something that I've done. So I'm always collecting the stats, and I wish I'd actually told Noah that, you should probably get the stats and figure out your lineup before you write anything. Because I've always gotten this, I've always gotten the stats and stuff ready. I've had the ACC stats ready about halfway through the fall, because I'm prepping for my co-hosts basically on the ACC side. And so I'd always planned to do in-depth previews, and now I'm probably not going to do that because they would kind of compete with what we've done on the magazine side. So this was a no-brainer to kind of do the ACC previews. The hardest part was getting some of these down to 500-600 words, because if I had been doing this during our deep dive takeover days that we're doing over the next 2 weeks on the Just Means Less account, I would be writing about 1,500 to 2,000 words per team. And maybe that's too much, but I wanted to be able to make sure I'm talking about all the guys that I really wanted to talk about. But this has been a pretty fun thing, but I gave myself like a January 1st cutoff because January's preseason time and I got to gear up with other things. So I was able to get most of my stuff done and then help out a little bit and make the changes as we adjusted. So that was good to just kind of get that. But yeah, December 17th, I was sitting at my desk and I was like, so are we really doing this, guys? Because everyone had been kind of quiet for a second. I'm like, if we're trying to get this out by ABCA, which was our original goal, obviously missed that by a couple weeks. But if we were trying to get that, I was like, we got to get going. So I was like, we got to make some deadlines. And that's when we kind of threw down a January 1 deadline that some of us hit, some of us didn't, but it was important to get a deadline down.
That was never happening, but yes, that was the original deadline.
Well, it happened for some of us. I'm just saying.
Guys, riding the bus right there.
Yeah.
So no, that's where I lost most of my sleep, and then I was able to kind of relax a little bit and work on some other things. But yeah, it was a lot of fun once I got my stuff out of the way to watch you guys kind of scramble.
All right.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
This is the most backhanded comments ever. You guys suck, but I'm glad I was with a part of you.
Yeah. He wrote a mid-major.
Even if y'all had all gotten everything to me January 1, I had highly misjudged the amount of time that the design was going to take. Hence why I had to pull a couple of all-nighters of work and just trying to get it done because I didn't want to let anybody down. But yeah, that was it. It wasn't just, I can knock out a conference a day. I think that's what I originally had told y'all. Like, all right, 4 Power 4 conferences, that's fine. Give me like 5 or 6 days, and it ended up taking about 2 weeks.
And a lot more hours, I think, in those 2 weeks than you thought you would have had to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, my favorite thing, like it's going to stem off of what Monty was talking about with the stats and everything. That's
I
my
stats.
That's
how many times did
you
have to visit NCAA, whatever?
You sit 2 minutes just as it just spins,
Yeah.
spins, trying to see one player's stats. But
stat accumulation in the college baseball world is dang near impossible. And from people like Robert Frey who have been doing this, 64 Analytics helped out a lot. Just it literally takes a village to get anything done in this sport, and it shouldn't be like that. But hopefully, we'll get it figured out.
Robert Frey, passionate
Robert Frey,
D2 baseball fan. There,
he's the man.
He is. Yeah, so my thing, like strength, was the stats, and when I shifted from editor, or at least that was the plan in my head, to actually writing it, it turned into, okay, my biggest role of the team was just providing the stat tables, because last year I opened that up for people to purchase, like college baseball fans and whatnot, just rosters of every team on a one Google spreadsheet, and we were able to basically use the bones of that for all the individual team pages for the projected lineups and everything. So yeah, that's my favorite thing, is just like kind of scouring each team's official roster sheet. By the way, shout out to all the real SIDs out there that were posting their official roster like weeks prior to preseason rather than
some
waiting.
of that's not on, and I will say some of that's not on the SID, because I think sometimes the coach doesn't want the rosters out there, because somebody like Louisville, I think they still don't have an online roster up, so I don't think that's the SID's fault.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that saves us a lot of elbow grease and whatnot, of scouring through kind of, fall highlights from these guys playing and whatnot. But yeah, that's my favorite part about this. The challenge was, kind of the crunch that we put ourselves into.
Yeah, but shout out the Miami SID real quick. Sorry, Beanie, to interrupt, but yeah, that guy has been secondary on football and was not expecting a national championship football run. When he I talked to him on December 17th, coincidentally, or whenever their game was against Texas A&M, and he was like, "I cannot wait for baseball season." And that poor guy was still working football until last week.
Well, to piggyback off that, Monty, I saw him the day Miami scrimmaged FAU, and it was the day after they lost to Louisville. And I asked him, "Oh, you excited for baseball after last night?" He's like, "Yeah, like I need it coming now. Like we're gonna have to have some prayers." So,
and
yeah,
my favorite team that I was able to write up, just to finish it up, and then we can get to Andrew too. I fell in love with Kentucky in the offseason, just like what their roster has. I think they have strength on the mound and just being able to throw strikes, and they've got a tremendous defense behind it with speed in the outfield and two Gold Glovers up the middle, and then Tyler Cerny was a shortstop at Indiana. He's playing third base for Kentucky. I think they'll be able to hit enough. So Kentucky was the team that I just couldn't wait for this to get out. That way, like my bold prediction on the Wildcats being really good this year could get out there. So that was the one that I loved the most.
Andrew, what about you? What did you enjoy writing about?
Well, first, I wanted to give Monty a shout out because as you guys mentioned, I did leave the project for a crisp 2 weeks. Because I was interviewing for some other coaching jobs in the college level. And Monty asked me, what did I think of the American? And who's going to, why is ECU going to win it? And I'm like, oh, you're about to write the American? Let me just do it right now. And I wrote it in my notes app, and I sent it to him. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I want back in. So thank you guys for having me back in. But I really enjoyed just writing about mid-majors. I know that's kind of Noah B's and 11.7's whole thing, but being able to spend a lot of time around Tulane last year and going to the American Conference Championship, being around FAU, the A-Suns, very big down here in Florida, just being able to write about all those mid-majors that they do put out some really good talent. Like the A-Sun this year, Evan Dempsey is a big name to know. He'll probably be the two-way player of the year for the A-Sun, and he's legit on the mound and with the bat. And then one thing I felt really bad for was, we mentioned it, these SIDs, like the SWAC and the MAC. SWAC and the MAC are two different levels, because the SWAC, we see some funding issues with them being very limited resources, and they're trying their best. And the MAC and some of these, like the NEC I wrote on, a few others, they're covering multiple sports during this time too, such as Niagara, Fairfield, Ryder. So being able to write about all these teams, reaching out to all their coaches, especially as a high school coach, where it's I had this problem a little where I wanted to reach out as a reporter or reach out as a coach trying to help my kids get committed. So it was very interesting trying to find that middle ground with both of them. But all the coaches, players, SIDs I talked to, they understood where I was coming from, and they were very happy to hear that we were doing this.
Yeah. shout out the coaches that let me ask the projected lineups, like what they thought of my projected lineups when they have no idea yet what theirs are.
Yeah.
And would laugh or give me feedback or be like, oh, maybe.
That's pretty close. What's not close?
Yeah.
Monty, did you hit your favorite team?
No, I did not. I did want to. I wanted to shout out the A10. That was a lot of fun to write about the A10 because they have a bunch of influx of talent coming in because all their best players either graduated, left, or about 15 or 16 transferred into the SEC or the ACC. I mean, half of Duke's transfers were from the A10. It feels like
Dayton.
Yeah, let's say Dayton specifically.
Yeah, Dayton specifically had some major guys go in there. Jack Archimoni, Richmond to Georgia. I think Michael Shaughnessy, Davidson to Georgia. There were a lot of guys, but seeing what the A10 had left was really exciting, and I think it's going to be a really fun conference between Rhode Island and VCU and George Mason and St. Joseph's to a point because they got the kid Coppola from Arizona who's got some good stuff. He's gone all the way down to St. Joe's, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see the A10 and doing those mid majors. The Ivy League was a lot of fun. Seeing that Navy is returning all of their team except for like their closer. Like I actually put them as my best returning team in an idea we scrapped. But and then I had to be corrected because are they the best returning team or do they just have the most returners? We had to have a discussion on that. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to kind of deep dive into those mid majors. So that's why I just wanted to make sure I could say my some of my favorite A10s. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've got to publicly apologize for that because several times at 3 a.m. an idea would tick in my brain and say, "Hey, we should do this." And I'm like, "Oh, squirrel! Nope, let's do this instead." Bonnie's like, "I've been done since December 1st. I'm not doing anything else."
No, it was funny because Gris was like, "All right, I'm caught up. No one else has given me anything, so I'm going to go do something else." And then I'm like, "Way to go, guys! You guys weren't pumping out enough work."
Monty may have had the quote of the century in that group chat when he was like, "Can everybody just please get done so Grissom doesn't start thinking of something else to add?"
Hey, but I think it was maybe the final idea. I think was your best one of the entire project. We put together personal like season prediction pages where
that was what the quote was. It was a very good idea, but I was still frustrated that he had the time at 4 a.m. when nobody else has given him like he's found a stopping point. But it was a great idea. It was fantastic.
You go, sorry, Bonnie. If you go to the back portion of the mag, that's I think the best bang for that makes the magazine, in my opinion. Just like the accumulation of everybody's work, we were all able to read it and kind of edit it together. And then we gave our top 16, like kind of regional host idea teams. And then, some buy, sell, holds, some Omaha 8 descriptions on the team, and then a little bit about us. I thought that was absolutely a perfect cherry on top, Grissom.
And it all happened from an ADHD moment from Grissom at 3 in the morning.
I did. Obviously, we saw the whole thing when Grissom was kind of like, look at this, let me know of issues. But there were certain times when he would finish a team page and he would send it to the chat and he'd say, without saying it, look this over, let me know if I screwed anything up. He didn't send us the final pages of like what you guys said for your descriptions of how you got into this. And I didn't really bother getting that far when he said read it because I'm like, if they screwed up a word, that's on them. I was kind of reading the more important things per se. But the first thing I did when I downloaded my actual copy the morning that this came out was I read everything that you guys said.
Correct.
And that was one of my favorite parts because it's cool to work on something, but it's also nice to have a little bit of a surprise like everybody else. And that was a surprise to me. So I enjoyed what all you guys said in that.
Well, good, because that was intentional. I didn't want anybody to have any influence on their picks if you notice too, every time I finished your page, I only sent it to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see.
And that was totally unedited. I literally just copied over what you had sent, your bios, just to let the reader know a little bit about you, your background, and why you felt like you were good enough to write for the Diamond Report. And,
I see. I was
legitimacy here.
Happened to be buying
I
a
was
bucket
not
of
very
floors in the Hilton lobby. That's what makes me good enough.
I see.
Well,
I
not
was not
everybody
very
made it,
influenced. I had Coastal Carolina at 4. I had Southern Miss at 12. I had UC Santa Barbara at 14. And I don't think Barbara was ranked by anybody else. So,
Yeah,
You were all the
you
vote.
definitely swung.
I think
for
Monty
the-
had Alabama up there. No, he
Yeah,
was the only vote.
very uninfluenced. There was a lot of outliers in there, but that's perfect. That's how it should
I
be.
believe in Rob Vaughn. Gosh.
Yeah.
The amount of people that chose Tennessee as the team that they're selling was kind
Yeah, I
of
wanna-
intriguing to me. Yeah,
I
are y'all
feel
thinking
like-
this is more of kind of the Texas A&M deal last year, where new first-year head coach gonna have to learn, take the lumps? What?
Well, I wasn't
Because it's
gonna
not
pick,
talent. Tennessee's got the talent on the roster.
Even
I
if
think.
I
Vitello was
wasn't
there,
gonna pick ACC or Mississippi State. So
true. Yeah.
Well, Tennessee is Diet Virginia with Evan Blanco and Henry Ford.
no,
Yeah.
they're knockoff Virginia, like because
Whatever you wanna call
Mississippi State's Diet Virginia because they got more.
They are Virginia. Mississippi State is Virginia.
Okay,
Yes. And what?
Virginia's
Remind me,
Duke.
Noah,
Yeah.
where did Virginia finish last year in the?
That's the cause for concern.
Yes.
That is.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought that was intriguing because Monty has Mississippi State ranked 3rd preseason. Noah doesn't have them ranked. I think I have them 16th. It's very.
I have
very
them ranked.
Noah.
I have them ranked, just not in my 16. They
Yeah,
might be
I don't
17.
have them ranked in my 16 either.
Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
Phoenix doesn't have. Sorry,
I
I've got
believe in Brian
the two
O'Connor,
Noahs.
the only
Yeah.
ACC
What
national
else
championship
mention
winning coach since 1958. By the way,
Yeah, he's a hell of a coach.
yeah.
The thing I wanted to
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
Tennessee
they're
is
gonna be good.
Yeah, let's talk about Tennessee. Let's-
we didn't put any like rationale behind that, and I felt guilty because everybody's going to think, oh, he's just out on Elander. No, I'm not really even out on Elander. I wrote the SEC intro part, and I said even if Tony Vitello was there, I thought that this roster was not quite as blue chippy on paper as some of the other SECs and as Tennessee's been in the past. So I don't think
Perfectly
those
said, Noah.
expectations should be placed upon Elander in his first year.
No.
And that's not a bad thing. I just don't like, what was it? 2023 Tennessee entered the year preseason number 1. And I don't think that roster garnered those expectations. It was the previous season. And I didn't want that to happen again to the Volunteers, and kind of us 6 bringing a mean ranking, like by average in our top 25, it worked. And yeah, so there was some high, some low on Tennessee, and it all kind of evened out.
I will say I am high on like Henry Ford. I thought made a brilliant business decision in terms of what school and where he's going to go hit, because I think he's going to have a massive year and make a lot of money making the decision that he made to go to Tennessee as the school that he chose, because he's going to hit a lot of home runs there. Like it's going to be a big. I mean, he's going to work himself back, I think, into the first round. I think he's already projected there. So I think there's going to be a lot of good things in Tennessee. It was just again, there's somebody we had to pick somebody.
Well,
So I think we all chose UCLA to make the Omaha 8. So did we curse them?
They have a history of.
They don't.
I think they'll be fine. I mean, you look at
Yeah.
the schedule, the Big Ten, I mean, out of 2 or 3 teams, like that's what they're going to benefit from. They're going to run the regular season and then kind of have to be battle tested for 3 straight weeks. But for the lineup, like they were able to do it last year, there's an even better lineup in town this year. Like there's no reason that they can't do it. Now, could this end up being like, an offensive version of the 2021 Tennessee team or Arkansas or the 2022 Tennessee? Absolutely. But I think they're, depending on where they're at, like they're going to host out West. They're going to have favorable draw, in my opinion. They're going to be there. But I wanted to touch on the Tennessee. Like I got kind of attacked on Georgia Tech, and I just want to almost defend everybody in here. Like we were limited to kind of how you describe a team and what words, right? But like to Noah's point, that there's more context that we could put in there. And, just because we rank a team 15 in a preseason doesn't mean that like we think they're going to miss the tournament. I think maybe that gets misconstrued a little bit on Twitter and the concept. And you'll hear that over the shows that, yeah, we do support these teams. But one of my major questions on the back end of the page was first-year coaches, like it's a lot to come in, figure out who you have on the roster, retain those guys that you want, then figure out your current class that you're either trying to bring in from your other school and vice versa, who you're trying to keep, and then worry about next year who your coaching staff is and a game plan. It's a lot for these first-year coaches, and I'll touch on the Mississippi State. Like, I had him further down than maybe Monty did for that same reason. I love Brian O'Connor. I think he's one of the greatest coaches to ever coach college baseball, and it's still year one in Mississippi State. The expectations, like, to put on him as Omaha or bust is extremely unfair, whether it's from us or the fan base. So I just kind of wanted to not only defend, my presence, but to those guys, like, we love these teams. We're not saying they're going to be brutal and go 6-18 in conference, but there are realistic expectations.
All I know is Q is on a list in Atlanta. I know.
I'm putting the lipstick at the top.
And in LA,
Yeah,
he was
in
the only
Lexington,
one of us that
Kentucky.
didn't put the Bruins number one.
Might as well be Atlanta too.
I like what Q just went to too. Like, you want to do one of our, like, each person's favorite national storyline that we wrote on that back page, like, not giving away everything, but like, what was your, like, number one thing that you're looking forward to this season?
I want to see how some of these teams that really dove into the transfer portal, I want to see how they look. We kind of hit on it with Mississippi State. Tennessee brought in 18 new arms. They just lost 18 bullpen arms, or bullpen and starters for the transfer portal in the draft last year. Georgia, South Carolina, they just brought in
a new expansion team, apparently.
Yeah, they're a new expansion team, essentially. They just bring in 15. South Carolina, bringing a new 15 every year. Like, is that going to be sustainable? Is it, like, are these coaches going to be regretting halfway through, oh, I really wish we brought in another freshman or two? It feels like I talked to a few schools through this, and I asked them about freshmen, and they said, oh, I mean, we got one or two here, but we're mostly going to live through the transfer portal now. So that's my big storyline. I want to see how the transfer portal has really impacted the way coaches think now.
Matt, we haven't heard any of your takes. Obviously, you didn't necessarily write the same as me, but why don't we? I'd love to hear maybe some of your opinions.
Yeah, I think the first one I'll go to, Coastal Carolina, fell short of winning it all in 2025, but showed they deserve to be there. Do we see more mid-majors in Omaha this year? And that really comes from a place where I thought that the NIL, the transfer portal, was going to deplete the mid-majors and really take them out of contention. Now, the caveat to that, I think in the last 10 years, it's been a preseason ranked top 10 team, and outside of a foul ball and foul territory by Arkansas, the SEC has won the national championship in those 10 years as well.
Are you alluding to something? I don't understand.
Yeah, the mid-majors. But Coastal proved that they were good.
The one in Fayetteville?
You saw UALR take LSU to the wire. And then to touch on Phoenix,
2018. That's what you're talking about. When Arkansas dropped. I got it.
Thanks, Noah. Thank you.
Wait. UCSB and his Omaha 8. So all that to be said, I don't think the NIL and transfer portal has killed maybe Dayton, but as the mid-major as a whole,
whoa,
maybe not. Maybe not. I think
Dayton with a ricochet shot.
Dayton's funeral will be tomorrow. The viewing starts at 3 p.m.
Dayton literally just turned into Duke. It's the Dayton Duke Blue Devils.
It's the Virginia Blue Devils.
Yeah.
It's like
the
mid-major.
Yeah, Mississippi State Cavs.
Up until last year, the mid-majors to me was just like a second JUCO to get you paid to go to the ACC or the SEC. And that's not the case. I think we're going to continue to see more parity. These mid-major teams are just as good as these Power 4 schools. There's my point. And I hope that this blossoms into seeing 2 or 3 mid-majors like Beanick predicted in Omaha this year. Because it is a lot of fun. Murray State, that game last year, absolute awesome
Fantastic
experience. I mean, you can't help but root for the underdog. And Murray State getting to sit there and talk to the players afterwards. I think me and Beanick stood there at Let It Fly when every other restaurant stopped serving food. We're just chatting it up for an hour and a half about Murray State. So that was awesome. I bring that on.
Grissom's sitting there hungry, and I'm just chatting away with. I was like Isaac Silva, Dom, Dusty Mercer and Carson Garner, and those guys were absolutely fantastic people. Just getting to know them that night, and yeah, we ran into. I think it was Ben and I, Upton. We ran into Tony Pluta and, two of his buddies from Arizona the night that they got axed too from the CWS. But that's fun. Like all the guys go out on the town and enjoy a night when they're done. And that's like a lot of times you're able to catch up with those guys. So it's fun.
It's always fun
they
to
were a
see
little sour
as
about
an Omaha guy, just to see him.
Game, though. Sorry.
Excuse me. It wasn't really a crucial point. But just as you watch them win a game, like a night game, and then you kind of linger around the Hilton maybe, and they're staying at the Hilton, and you slowly see these college athletes come out in like a nice shirt and wonder where you're going. So it's cool to see them like, oh, these guys are regular college students too, and you sometimes forget that.
I don't.
Can I want to actually add to that point. So like I've been going out since 2021. Obviously, nowhere near as long as Noah Darling, but it's cool to hang out at the Hilton and these other places. And one thing I saw last year, and it's going to speak to the mid majors, like here and there as a team would expand, you might see that on the board that Peyton Manning showed up for Tennessee, or Dak Prescott would show up for Mississippi State the year they won it. But then last year, like we're partying it up with the 2016 Coastal team, and that was to me really cool to like see those guys come back 9 years later and just, whether some were wearing their rings or some were, just hanging out at the bar, just either telling the stories that they know about this current team, obviously, I'm speaking of last year, or their own, and like what they saw in themselves or what this team's different, or like, man, we didn't do it this way, we did it that way. Like, to me, that really stuck out for me, was to see that mid-major camaraderie come back. Whereas, again, you don't see the Tennessees, maybe out as public as it was at the Hilton. But I thought that was really cool when it kind of touched to that point.
I don't know. Livy Dunn was making her rounds around there for LSU.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's on a tier of her own. So, yeah. But it was cool.
She's favorite national, with a bunch of security. So,
favorite national storylines from the right side for here? What do we got?
Yeah, Noah Monty injured.
I mean, mine were the first year, coaches in Atlanta, Durham, Charlottesville, Starkville, Knoxville, all the Vills.
The Vills.
All the Vills.
Go ahead, darling. Okay. One of the things that I said was also the first year head coaches, but you guys are all like, every first year coach. I know Q and I had very similar questions in there, but I was specifically with Georgia Tech and Tennessee, not just because they're first year guys, but because they were assistants under those legendary guys at their schools. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. This is a question I love asking first year coaches who are also assistants at their school. How do you carry on that legacy, but also make it your own program? But at the same time, these guys aren't coaches taking over mediocre programs. These are teams that are ready to win national championships. So it's very interesting just to watch them happen both at the same time with teams that we're generally high on, even though Tennessee kind of got the short end of the stick by Beanie and some others.
Andrew, go ahead.
I already did mine with yeah.
I guess mine, it was very similar to Grissom's. Just reading off of the top point here. I'm kind of stunned by just that dichotomy of the 2024 Omaha 8, where you have 4 SEC, 4 ACC teams, and then you get into 2025, and there were 7 different conferences and quotation marks represented there, 2 mid-majors in Coastal Carolina, and a true 4 seed, the 4th ever one in Murray State. There were 2 SEC teams there, and I enjoyed that they were both in the same bracket, so we got a little bit of a different taste in the championship. Me personally, even though I will recognize the SEC and ACC, I believe, are the best 2 leagues. I like the flavorful collection of teams that we saw in 2025 in Omaha, while also getting, the big SEC, the big ACC fan bases there, and we can have some rowdy atmospheres, because I know that's something that Darling and Omaha natives very much root for. So,
give me 4-4 every year.
As long as the 4 and 4 bring fans, I don't care. You LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas. I want those guys here every single year until a fan base can provide a better experience above them. That's what I'm all about.
Rocco
agree
would
with
say
that.
they want LSU there every year.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What
I
is
feel like
Rocco's like on a random Wednesday in January?
I don't know how open they are throughout the year. I don't really live that close, so it's not like I go there all the time. But I've been there at a random time around the College World Series, like the week leading up, and maybe like a few weeks after, where they're still open. Again,
Dude, his microphone.
Talking with his hands too much, he knocked his mic out.
We can't hear you, dude.
We can't hear you.
Yes,
Oh,
this is
yeah,
what was
yeah.
happening in the pre-show. Let's go.
Rocco's just knocked him out.
Yeah,
That's it. The
Talking
jello
about
shots
Rocco.
took them out.
The deep
Hey,
state.
Hey,
No.
Rocco's Pizza. There is
Check your mic.
availability for the 2027 Diamond Report magazine. We're opening it up for advertisements, whether you want a full page spread, a little bit of box, or whatever. Go ahead, give us a call.
Well, I
And
remember
anybody
Noah,
else that's listening too.
I remember Noah telling me that Rocco's and what was that restaurant out in right field, right behind the right field wall? It was
The
that
Black?
little, yeah,
The black.
that and like they had the ice cream place.
yeah.
That he was telling me how that place is only open like the 12 days that Omaha's going on. Like it's rarely open actually. So
Omaha's not going on the rest of the year.
I guess not. They
Omaha.
shut down.
They shut down the whole city.
Yeah,
The city's done.
No love for Creighton baseball. Noah, you look like you may be back. You're not back. All right.
All right.
I'm back
Let's
in my Texas.
let's
Oh,
You're
he's
back.
back.
You're
Yeah.
in my
Great.
text.
So what I was saying, Rocco's. Like
No,
Andrew
the
kinda
you.
said,
don't
The
hit
U's
your
back.
mic this time. You're getting a little crazy with your hands.
Too
Getting hands
Italian.
on.
I'm
Too
excited.
Italian.
I'm excited to be able to say out loud what I've just said a whole bunch. Rocco's, I don't know how open they are. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but I've been there during the non-College World Series time, as in when there's no game going on and nobody really around. I don't remember the setting, but I was downtown for a reason, which would tell me it was probably baseball season, maybe the Big Ten tournament. And I'll tell you, it's very calm. Like, you guys don't really know Rocco's the restaurant. You guys know Rocco's the bar. Very good pizza at Rocco's. You may have had
Extremely
it,
good.
but their menu is much larger during the regular season. When I went there during, I think it was the day before Media Day one time, they had already switched over to their College World Series menu. Yeah, we have pepperoni pizza. That's it. I like a buffalo chicken, which is what they are very good at. I had a spicy Hawaiian, maybe the best I've ever had. I think Rocco's is the best pizza in Omaha, but people go there for the Jello shots, which are absolutely disgusting.
Yes. Not great.
But I'm
I
glad
feel like
that
we should post
No,
up one
I'm
night in
kinda
the Hilton
proud
and actually
of
do a
Noah
live
to-
show.
Before I met Noah, I thought he was just kind of this grumpy, get off my lawn
too.
type guy.
He
And
is.
then-
100%.
Yeah, he
that
was-
is who I am.
Have you seen him in his glasses that he mows the lawn in?
I don't mow the lawn in them, but I did wear them to the hospital when
But
my
he's-
child
he's-
was
he's
born, and they got
pleasant.
some look.
he's a pleasant gentleman. And to hear that he loves the crowds of Omaha, that is very much
Hold
anti.
on, wait a minute.
He's
Wait a
anti
minute.
mid-major though.
I live
I
in
like-
Omaha, and I know damn well this is here every single year.
Hey, we need to
But I
pull up
don't
that
like
video
it.
of him doing the wave in the press box.
We don't need that.
too.
I do
Doing
like the
that.
crowd in Omaha when the crowd in Omaha is not from Omaha. I think that's pretty clear.
It triggers a wave. It triggers a wave to the
You don't
fans.
like the
Yeah.
locals? Is that what you're
Thank
telling
you.
me?
It warms my heart when a wave happens somewhere on the East Coast, West Coast, somewhere where I'm not, and people start tweeting at me, the wave is happening here. That tells me my influence means something, and I'm worried that we're going to get away from banning the wave. Thank you, Dan, for bringing that up. Last year's
you
College
do
World
the
Series,
wave.
very few waves. Coincidentally, great fan bases. You tell me if that's connected.
One
I
man
think
that
it is.
did the wave is the one Noah Darling.
There's documented evidence.
Video. Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
not
there
there.
are-
You can tell that he is out of his practicing of the wave.
There are a lot of people
He's
along
staying
the
on
way who have
brand
been
there.
framed for things. O.J. Simpson and myself. I did not do the wave.
Man.
Cole, we appreciate you hanging out. We
Yeah.
got to meet Cole last year at Rocco's.
Hung out all the time. He's a good guy. Good
Yeah.
name.
And I don't know, Call, are you a big fan of the wave? Because inquiring minds want to know. I don't mind it. I think it's funny, but
It's not. I would like to know what players on the field in the College World Series, your guys like Landon Sims, who was throwing a near no hitter in the 7th inning against Texas when the wave broke out. I want to know how it impacts them. That's the only thing that could change my mind. If a pitcher or a hitter's like, oh, I don't even notice it, maybe I'll listen, but I probably won't.
No, if you're banning the wave, I want to know your thought on the beach ball.
The beach ball is already banned. So if you're asking me if I'm going to ban something, what that looks like, great. We can talk about that on the side. Let's already address the banned items already. Do I welcome firearms to the stadium? I don't. You know what else is equally banned?
Watch out for that beach ball. It's taking people out.
Look at the signs out front this June, Q. You'll see beach balls banned item, along with firearms. I say we go hard stop on all things that are banned in the stadium.
Class 1
If you want to get
felonies right
loosey-goosey,
there.
you run that risk.
What are your thoughts on those inflatable like wave things that they're doing at the college basketball
clappers
games
or
to try
whatever
to
to
distract
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
free
Hey,
throw
specifically in
shooter? What
Clemson,
would
right,
be the
Monty?
equivalent to that in baseball?
Well, the
You have
Clemson
a guy
bullpen
up there
probably.
hitting a no hitter. What do you?
Clemson handed him out.
Clemson certainly knows how to harass opposing teams. Just ask West Virginia.
Just ask Backage. I mean, he even says, like, I like the home field advantage.
Maybe it'll work sometime.
If I say anything, I'll get in trouble.
Is
Hey,
How
baseball
was
the
your view of
least
the
amount
bullpen, Monty?
home field
My
advantage?
view of the bullpen was great. I saw into the press box or a wall.
Is baseball the least effective home field advantage in college sports?
No,
No.
no.
Golf.
Golf.
Monty, change your hat.
I mean,
Get outta here.
dude, the golf course too. Like, you know the golf course, so like you know kind of the
Of
greens more than
basketball,
everybody else.
football, I would say that baseball is.
I don't know. But yeah, we're nearing an hour. I wanted to get
I think it's regionally dependent, Chris.
true. I wanted to get this in there too, like for the aspiring college baseball and just sports writers in general, but specifically like if you love college baseball, there is, I would say, we conducted with Grissom a Bo Callahan draft day dollar bill in the playbook. If you read the playbook and you find that dollar bill,
That's
you'll have
exactly what I
the
thought.
ability to kind of apply to be on the team next year. And we'll look at all of that because, I mean, we're not against adding to the team. We have big aspirations of doing many team previews and stuff. So, yeah, we're looking forward to this continuing year after year.
Yeah, if you're a good writer and you have an in with the conference or a team, email us.
That was an incredible draft day reference, Beanie. I thought you were going to go with like a Matt Grissom no matter what situation, but instead the $100 bill.
Yeah.
No, your guy said, "Oh yeah, good joke, guys." No, that was in there. Good pull.
Anything else we want to add before we wrap up episode 1? Just talking operations, ideas, how this thing came about.
I think we dabbled, just to wrap it up. I think we dabbled doing more shows throughout the season. So that's something to look forward to. And then I think as we get closer, we make it a little more official, more public. Like we'll pick a day, pick an hour, and
Also,
kind of have a sit down at the Hilton or something.
Yeah, how much of this Clan is going to be in Arlington weekend 1? Live show in person?
I think everybody
No
makes
ACC
it.
teams, Monty will be caught dead.
I'll be in Chapel Hill, baby.
Of course.
I didn't say
ACC
no. I'm there
team.
to see Indiana because I'm seeing 6 of Indiana's first 7 games. I'm a Big Ten guy now. I'm an Indiana beat writer.
Big Ten.
I'm an Indiana beat writer for the first 7 games.
Guys taking Rutgers in a super regional.
Talking about being a conference shill, the Kansas helmet there, Noah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Give us one final pitch as to why the
He's
Big
pulling up the
12
Minnesota
is gonna be a
one now.
really
Look at
fun
that.
conference.
Michael
watch
Whitney,
this year.
baby.
You changed right on cue of me trying to get a question out of you.
Go ahead.
Tell me, what's the allure of the Big 12 this year? Since you are an admitted Big 12 shill,
I am a Big 12 shill. I'm not afraid to admit that, and that's in all sports, by the way. I'm an equal opportunity shill.
AU basketball.
Okay, not for the teams, for the conference. But when it comes to Big 12 baseball, I'm very excited about the pitching depth at the top. You have some of the best starters in the country. You guys can't really tell, but I'm physically sick that Nathan Taylor didn't get more love among this group. I think he's going to be an All-American at the end of the year. TCU has some fantastic arms, led by, name escaping me, Wichita State transfer.
Tommy Lepore.
Tommy Lepore, of course.
Yeah.
I said it before you did.
Transfer
Owen Krimkowski and Smith Bailey at Arizona. Got Dom Vagley at Kansas. Kansas State, I think, has a fantastic returning core. Carson Leggett looking to make his K-State debut. How about that, Nate Monty? Yeah, that's right.
I forgot about Carson. He didn't play last year at all.
We had Tommy John in the fall. I watched him pitch for K-State.
Carson Leggett was my dark horse candidate 2 years ago for ACC Pitcher of the Year.
Monty, I'm going to ask you the same question about the ACC next.
Don't even answer.
All Noah Darling's words, please.
But the offense is deep as well. Sawyer Strauss-Snyder is better than Rock Chalowski at some things. And I'm looking forward to watching them duel week 2 in LA. That's a real who's who. You guys enjoy Arlington, which I'll also be at. But Hollywood week 2, that's going to be the ultimate where the stars are born. I assume that there'll be a Hollywood Walk of Fame spot for the Diamond Report, of which I will be making an appearance at on our behalf. But the Big 12, great. West Virginia, if D2 pitching takes off, West Virginia will be in Omaha. Cincinnati is going to steal 1,000 bases this year. That might not be hyperbole. So many exciting teams in the Big 12. There's no easy sweeps. Utah, who we project is maybe the worst team in the Big 12 overall. I shouldn't say worst. To come in last in the Big 12, I should say, has the best pitcher possibly in the Big 12 in Coulter McNally. Very, very exciting league. New stadium for Utah, too. So even if the record doesn't look great, they'll at least look good on TV. Can't wait to watch the Big 12 this year. I wish the tournament was not in Surprise, Arizona. I kind of refuse to do that. But other than that, I will be at all Big 12 games from the beginning of conference play to the end of the regular season.
Speaking of looking good on TV, before we get to the ACC preview, Stanford, do not change your score bug. Do not. It looks perfect. Beautiful.
Monty, tell us about the ACC and why we need to keep an eye on them.
All right, there's 9 teams that have been ranked across various publications. So, if they get 10 bids, you're saying there's only one unranked team. I think there's 12 to 13, possibly 14 tournament caliber teams. They're not
maybe 16.
No, there's not 16. There's not 16. There's 12 to 13 tournament caliber teams. They're not going to get 10. They're not going to get 11 bids. They're probably going to get 10. So who are those teams going to be? I just can't wait. I think Notre Dame and Virginia Tech are 2 teams that have regional host upside. But they've also got a pretty shortened floor where they could miss the tournament. So it's going to be really fun to see where everything goes. Cause there's no easy weekends. Going to Pitt is not fun. Going to Boston College is not fun, especially that Todd Internato's got his guys in there and plays his system of baseball is just beautifully ugly. And if he can get teams to make mistakes, Boston College is going to rack up some wins there, even to make up for the talent gap. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's just one of the big questions I have is whether Stanford and Cal can kind of learn from what went wrong last year and be a little bit more competitive to make the conference deeper.
Beanick, I'm going to make you do the Big Ten. It's not an easy task, but tell us why we need to be paying attention to the Big Ten.
I'm going to shift. I'm calling an audible.
All right.
I spent way more time on the Sun Belt and Big West, so I could talk about those leagues. Sun Belt, man. Like everybody knows Coastal Carolina. I'll dive a little bit deeper. Like, hey, Southern Miss was a team that I was very close to also thinking they were Omaha caliber this year. They bring back a lot on the mound. And I think that Graydon Harris, the lefty there, can really step into national stardom as a starting pitcher as a sophomore. Colby Allen making the jump up from, a lockdown reliever to the weekend rotation is going to be exciting to watch for the Eagles this year. And then the Big West, I actually thought, Troy was the other team. They're relying on a little bit of a lot of transfers, to be honest. Dylan Alonso is a guy that they're really excited about at the front of their rotation. But the lineup's loaded for them. The Big West, I think at the top could have more teams that are top 32 seeds than the Sun Belt. You heard that here first. Everybody talking about Sun Belt being a top 5 conference this year, like right behind the Power 4 or even a little bit better than the Power 4. I think the Big West is there this year. You look at UC Irvine last year, they really kind of, I can't say this in a kind way, they crapped down their legs and blew a regional host chance. But they bring back a lot on that pitching staff. It was over 300 innings from the pitching staff from last year, which was very talented and kind of underperformed in a way, but they've got a lot of depth on the mound. You got UC Santa Barbara, who brings back everybody, literally every arm on the mound except for Tyler Bremner. And I think they'll have enough offensively this year. Cal Poly's got the best offense returning from last year. They bring back their left side of the infield, and they had the best batting average in the league last year. And then Hawaii, UC San Diego, and Fullerton, I think, are teams on the outside. The 5-team conference tournament, there's 6 very, very good teams that I think all, if things break their way and RPI holds, which it's probably not, but they could all be bubble teams in the NCAA tournament conversation this year.
Left off UCI from that list, too. They return pretty good pitching staff in Hanson and Ojeda.
Yep.
Andrew, what's a conference that you wrote up about that you think the people need to know about headed into 26?
I'm an American shill. I'll admit about that. Obviously being around Tulane last year, but I believe you can't really even say it was a down year for East Carolina. They still made the conference tournament. I think they're going to come back and find themselves in a top 15 in a hosting situation this year. I think Charlotte, their pitching staff, Rob Woodard, he's one of the top pitching minds in the country. He's known for just dominating pitching. Pat Hallmark, he just got a very nice extension, and facility upgrades are coming to UTSA. I think there's a legitimate shot. We have 3 or 4 teams in the American fighting for 35, 40 wins. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see a 2 to 3 team American Conference bid this year, because I think we're seeing about top 5 teams fighting for this auto bid, in my opinion. But if the RPI holds up with at least ECU, Charlotte, UTSA, and maybe even Tulane, I could see at least 2 to 3 teams getting in from the American this year.
All right, Noah, Big Ten.
I'm glad I could clean up the mess after Beanie was just so afraid to walk into the weeds of the Big Ten. When you look at it from the surface, as Beanie and I certainly did our fair share of, pitching is scarce right now. I happen to believe that pitchers do get good with experience. I happen to be positive about that perspective. So I think at the end of the year, we're going to see a handful of pitchers that had really good years in the Big Ten, because that's usually how baseball works. Question is, who are those going to be? And that's what's exciting about the Big Ten, is you can't tune in on a Friday night necessarily and say, here's who this guaranteed ace is and this guaranteed ace. It's going to be a little bit of rotations throughout the year. And maybe by the end of the Big Ten tournament, we have, here are the solidified aces, and look at where they started to begin the year. We didn't know who these guys were necessarily. And maybe a year from now, it flips. And we're talking about how great the Big Ten was for pitching and how good it's going to be in 2027. On the other hand, let's say it doesn't do that and it goes against common logic and no pitching emerges. How about the offense of the Big Ten this year? What an exciting league to turn on. 17-16, not on Sundays like you see in maybe the Big 12, but on Friday nights. And what a tremendous year Rock Chalowski had, running away with the Golden Spikes because he has 130 RBIs or something like that. There's a potential for both sides of the coin here. And if you believe that something's going to emerge from the mound perspective, you're excited about that possibility. If you like offense, you should watch the Big Ten immediately.
All right, Q, wrap us up with the SEC. I don't think anybody needs to be convinced at this point why the SEC is worth a watch. Monty says he does as he switches to his Florida State hat.
Florida State's going to be in the SEC. Nice.
The SEC, right? I think you had a couple down teams last year. A couple headlines. Rob Vaughn. A lot of people think this is the best team that he's had. You've got those first-year questions with Mississippi State. having Brian O'Connor come in and Josh Elander step in with Vitello leaving for the pros. And so that's another storyline we're going to follow closely. And then, over the last 10 years, Dave Van Horn and Arkansas have racked up 18 or more wins in the SEC. On paper, there's some parts of the pitching staff that maybe aren't as strong as years past. How do they perform? Like, are they going to make that another year of 18 plus wins? And can Dave Van Horn and the rest of the guys just continuously churn out, a top end pitching caliber staff? And so you look at those from the storylines. The Gators have on paper one of their best teams. Now it's not the most powerful. It's a change of play for the Gators. So that's interesting. They're more gap to gap this year versus the power game that they've had over the last 5 years. If they play well,
thin, but yes, you're right.
Health, that's a big concern of the last couple of years. If they can stay healthy, they're an Omaha team. If they can't, they're going to be another bubble team. But they always play well for Sully. The Sully distractions is another, thing that's going to be brought up. Maybe, they're playing well, they're past it. Oh, they're not playing well, it's looming. So there's a lot of storylines in the SEC this year, whereas we've never really had them in the past, or at least all of them within one season. But it's going to be another 12 to 14 bid league. It's just, can Missouri step up after, not winning a conference game last year? I believe it's just, there's a lot of storylines in SEC.
Till the end. Didn't they sweep A&M?
Oh, that's right. They did. Yeah. I'm mistaken. Yeah. So, can they double their season win totals in the SEC? Then we can make that a storyline here at the Diamond Report. But when you just look at it, the SEC is a top for a reason. The fans love it, exponentially more than probably some regions. And it's in my opinion, the best conference and some of the best baseball you'll see.
I'd like to add this storyline too, because we weren't able to put it on the SEC storylines, but I thought it was a good one. SEC last year sent 13 teams to the NCAA tournament. 8 of them earned a host. Only 4 won their regional, which they were all hosts, and only 2 went to Omaha. So I'm interested to see whether or not the conference kind of takes the SEC label and everything for granted with all the hosts again, or if they're able to take advantage. And we do see a year like 2024 where 4 SEC teams get to Omaha. So
yeah, I want to say the SEC is the best conference, but the gap I don't think is 4 teams better than the ACC. They got 13 bids. The ACC only got 9. I just want to throw that. I think the gap would be more like 2 teams. But I just wanted to throw that out there. The SEC is the best conference in college baseball. That's not an opinion. Unfortunately, that's just a fact. And I think part of that is the infinite number of guys with high 90s velocity. I think the hitters are comparable in the ACC and the SEC, but the random amount of guys on SEC bullpens that just throw 98, 99 seems to be infinite. And that's I think where the gap is.
And I would expect nothing more for you than just to take that last little jab at the SEC as an ACC guy. Wrapping this up, guys, all 1,000 of you right on the nose viewing this, we really appreciate all the support. Hope you download the Diamond Report. Check that out. Again, can't reiterate it enough. These guys that I got to have the privilege of working alongside of just knock this completely out of the park. It is something like Phil Steele for college baseball, and we can't wait for 2027 to bring it to you. After learning so much from this first go around, the inaugural definitely had its fair share of problems, but at the end of the day, we were able to get it out about 3 weeks before the season kicked off. So you've got time to download it, read through it, cover to cover. And like Beanick said earlier, if you're interested in contributing, writing with us next year, holler at me, hit us up in the DMs or something. But guys,
find the $100 bill.
Y'all have anything else y'all want to add? Wrapping it
Excited
up.
for the season.
Yes.
Good show, boys. For 6 people, we're bound to talk over each other, and I'm a huge culprit, but that went really well. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. That was fun.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.